Happy Thursday, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. It is Alex, myself, Alvy Belor here with the Belor Carl Immigration Group. We got Scott leaving right now for physical therapy. Bye, Scott. Hope you all are having a good week. Thanks for tuning in. I have a quick video regarding some updates that happened today, I believe. If not today, then yesterday, as well as some other information regarding COVID and the travel restrictions. So, and as always, please, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Thank you for tuning in regardless. Leave a comment if you have any questions, suggestions, etc. All right. So, Ali, I've been hearing on the listservs and other readings that we've been doing today that a couple important things in the immigration world have gone down today. One that comes to my mind is I'm calling it the deferral of, I guess, removal of certain foreign nationals. Is that true? Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the memo was issued yesterday, January 20th, right after Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were sworn in. And basically, I mean, the gist of it is that they are halting deportations, removals for 100 days. And that's because of, a lot of factors, including just limited resources that the US government has. So instead of just rounding up people, what the memo, and I'm going to reference it, I'm going to read it here because I don't have it memorized yet. But basically, they're focusing on enforcement if, for individuals who are a national security to the United States, who, or there's issues with border security. And with border security, people that are trying to enter the country without authorization, so they would get apprehended. Okay. And really, if they haven't been here on or before November 1st. So November 1st, 2020 is the cutoff date. So if somebody has tried to come in and they were caught after November 1st, 2020, they're not subject to this halt, right? So that's your cutoff date.
Okay. Now, does this also impact?
I'm sorry. The other cone is public safety. So national security, border security, and public safety.
Okay, that seems very reasonable. Now, does this impact people who are currently in removal proceedings as well? Let's say you have, your last individual hearing where you're going to get a decision, I don't know, next week. Does this halt of deportation? I imagine it would impact those individuals as well, right?
Yeah, it does. So if somebody if somebody is in removal proceedings and they're due to show up to court, they need to show up. So it doesn't stop the removal process. Okay. Right? Removal proceedings go on. It's just if somebody is has an outstanding removal order, that order is not going to be executed for at least 100 days based on this memo.
Okay, perfect.
So it's really important for folks to show up to your removal hearings. It's not like everything just stopped. No, things are going forward. It's just the removal, the last process, which is the removal, is not being done at least for 100 days. There's a 100-day pause.
Okay. What do you think the reason behind this is? Do you have any idea? Is this to give the president some time to kind of, see what's going on, get things in order, make sure the system's efficient, et cetera, or?
Look, as you know, I think everything is such a mess within the immigration world, right? There's huge backlogs in immigration court. I think in the past 4 years, people have just been dumped into the system. The system is collapsing, literally. So it's just a reprieve until they figure out what to do. 100 days kind of gives them some space. But in the meantime, anybody that's a national security threat, border threat, public safety threat, they're out. Anybody who is a criminal, is coming off the criminal justice system for other crimes, they're not being halted. If they're being deported, they're being deported. So all those people are out. It's just the innocents that only have a civil kind of a infraction, which is what immigration is. They're halting removal of those folks.
Okay. let's talk a little bit about, I know we touched upon this in our last video, but the comprehensive immigration reform bill that Biden plans to I guess, send to Congress or implement, right?
Yeah, so he's got a whole bill, proposed legislation written. It's ready to go. He's going to submit it to Congress. And the idea behind it, and there's a lot of details in there, to provide legalization to millions of people, 11 million at the very least, right? So that's great news because it brings people out of the shadows. It allows them to integrate, all the usual arguments that we make.
Yeah.
The legislation does. It hasn't been submitted, to my knowledge, as of today. It has not been submitted. I think Scott was talking about like a minute ago, maybe next Friday it's going to be submitted, but it is going to be submitted. Right. That's for sure.
Yeah, and it has to, I mean, clearly, and obviously it has to go through the proper channels of being, go through the House, then be passed by the Senate in order to, be implemented, correct? And so, one thing we wanted to do was advise, we've been hearing that some attorneys are actually signing up clients in regards to this bill that actually hasn't even gone through the proper channels yet.
Yeah, so it's kind of actually disgusting. So on Twitter, I was reading today that some attorneys have flyers out, they're signing people up, a retainer agreement. That's a clear violation of at least California state bar rules. And it's just clear violation of, I think, just sheer humanity. We don't have a bill to sign people on. So, folks need to remember, don't pay any money to anyone that is promising you amnesty because they're not in a position to do so. We don't have a bill yet. We have a proposed bill that President Biden is going to send to Congress, and, how that comes out after the legislative process, who knows? The raw version of it is amazing. Yeah. I'm hoping that the tail end of it, something productive comes out.
Yeah, that's super important. Yes, these clients do need to be aware. Don't sign up in regards to this possible bill that hopefully does go through, but now it's too early. So if you have any questions regarding that, of course, call us as always. We're happy to answer your questions. Last thing I want to touch upon is some of the COVID travel restrictions that are still in place, but there have been some, I guess, alterations. Maybe some people think improvements to some of those restrictions. Correct?
Yes. So Joe Biden always said that he's going to follow the science and, follow the CDC guidelines. And CDC guidelines, obviously, COVID is raging all over the world, including the United States. Travel is an issue. So before Joe Biden was sworn in, we had a patchwork of bans, let's say. Yep. Brazilians couldn't come in, or Chinese couldn't come in, or whatever, this area, that area. So what he's done, he's removed those, little patch bans, right? Okay. But the quarantine is still there. So people that want to come here from wherever in the world, they need to quarantine for 14 days somewhere that is, accepted by the US before flying into the US. The trip has to be broken down. Those details remain the same. What Joe Biden added was they need to also, whoever, after quarantine or whatever, they need to test negative for COVID within 3 days of travel. Right, so that's been added. That wasn't there before.
That seems.
You just went to Costa Rica. How'd you get back?
I had a return ticket, went to the airport. They took my temperature, everything checked out, and I got back.
Right, but you weren't tested when you came back.
No, I got back before that new rule was implemented. California does have that rule where they want you to quarantine for 10 days if you leave the county or country or whatever it may be. So I did do the 10-day quarantine, but no, we didn't have to get tested.
Yeah, but now people do.
Okay.
Right, and then the other thing is...
a logical requirement. Oh, I lost you on video.
I'm back. Okay. My battery's running short. So the other thing that they is still intact, right? I mentioned the regional bans, right? Yeah. So the two countries that I know of that are still subject to the, that regional ban, Iran and China. So they removed everybody from regional bans, but Iran and China remain on that list.
Perfect. Awesome. How's Palm Springs?
Amazing.
Great. Nice, nice. Well, we miss you here
It's,
in Los.
you know, desert is beautiful, Alex. You should try it.
Yeah. No, I'm glad. I will. Not I'm glad, but I will for sure. And I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, Allie's in Palm Springs, holding down the Palm Springs office this at the end of the week and this weekend. We're here in Los Angeles. As always, thank you for tuning in. Allie, thank you for joining me. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, guys. Please subscribe and just follow us on Instagram as well. We're constantly putting these videos out, trying to be as informative as possible. So, okay.
Awesome. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Be good. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.